Hello, Uniform Oz here. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. A couple of weeks ago I made my own grunge tape. So I used a wide double-sided tape and stuck tickets and bits of leftover paper on and stamped it and put some distress inks in brown on it. I'll put them side by side, they're slightly different toned. I actually think they turned out really nice. I was really happy with it. So I thought I would have another go at grunge tape, but this time I'm actually going to use a fabric. This is an old Kazaz product, which was an Australian paper crafting company, and these is actually like a calico, and they are in slightly different colours. Oh, get it right, you know. Slightly different colours. Sort of, they've got an off-white, a beige white, and a very pale tea colour. I actually was hoping to back them with this nice thick double-sided tape, but there's very little room for error, so I'm not sure if I can get them exactly straight. But what I will do is I'll cut a strip of each, and I will actually use a little double-sided tape to hold them onto my mat. I've got a selection of distress inks, black soot, gathered twigs, ground espresso, tea dye and frayed burlap. I found a stencil that's got a little bit of everything. I particularly like the numbers and the arrows. And I got a little selection of stamps. Yes, I have a lot of stamps because I was going to stamp some of these bits on. So it'll try to be a little bit random. And I'm going to have a go and see if I can emulate the paper grunge, but in fabric. And this fabric is, like I said, is calico type, but it also is quite absorbent. I have got a water bottle in case I need to spritz, and I'm just going to see how I go. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to put this on. I actually think I might colour the backgrounds and just use a paintbrush and dab some on, because I have a little bit more control then, and then I might use a spritz bottle if I have to move it. Okay, I'm going to give it a go. I have no idea how it's going to turn out or if it's going to work, so come along with me and see what we can create today. So here's my finished grunge tape. I did actually dry it off a little bit. I'll give you a bit of a close-up. I'll do a close-up with the camera at the end. So I actually think it worked out okay. So you could see that using the brush, it wasn't getting a lot of colour on. That's why I just decided to scrape it on. And I think hitting it with the water sort of patchified the colours. And I know the frayed burlap is a very underrated colour, but it does give a slightly little green tone when it separates, which can really add to the depth of colour. Also, given that I stamped it when it was a little damp, the black has actually infused a little bit and softened, so I actually think all in all it worked okay. So it was pretty good for an experiment because I had no idea how it would work. But I do like the idea of these ready cut strips. Now another thing you can do is just get a piece of calico, and then you could lay it on the table, and then you could splatter it and dab it and spray it and spritz it and do all kinds of things with it, then stamp all over and then cut it into strips, because that might work. I might try that next time actually, because that would also give a much bigger piece, and you can cut it into strips of different widths, so anything from 1 centimetre to 2 inches, whatever you prefer. And I think that could work as well. I actually do have some calico in the cupboard. It's not quite as thick as this, I don't think, but I don't think that makes a difference. So maybe I'll keep that in mind and give it a go next time. But all in all, I actually think it worked. So thanks for joining me, and if you're interested in coming along and seeing the next one where I'll try the piece of calico, keep me in mind. Okay, bye for now. Enjoy.